All right, let's play detective for a minute. We're about to learn how to read the hidden language of our cities. You know, that secret code that makes us feel a certain way in certain places, often without us even realizing why?
I mean, think about it. You know that one neighborhood cafe where conversations just flow? Or that town square that feels like the absolute heartbeat of the city? There's just this energy, right? A feeling that things are exactly as they should be. But what is that?
And then you've got the total opposite, the generic strip mall, that vast empty office park, or a sprawling highway interchange. Places that feel like, well, like nothing. They do a job, sure, but they have absolutely no soul. So what's the difference? What's going on here?
Okay, so let's get into it. The thing is, these feelings aren't random at all. There are actual principles at work here, almost like a grammar for building great places. And today, we're basically handing you the decoder ring to understand this language.
First up, we've got to look at the social side of things, because great places, well, they're not just about cool buildings. They're about people, about community. You can think of them as the living rooms of our cities.
And right at the heart of this is a brilliant idea from a sociologist named Ray Oldenburg called the third place. It's not your home, and it's not your work. It's that other essential spot where community life really happens. And when these places start to vanish, social connections can really start to fray and loneliness creeps in.
And this slide just lays it out perfectly, right? You've got home, that's your first place, your private life. You've got work, the second place, your professional life, and then you have the third place, the anchor for your entire community life. All three are absolutely vital for a balanced, healthy life.
So what are these places, really? Well, they're the cafes where you bump into friends, the parks you walk through, the local library, even the barber shop. The key is that they're easy to get to, they don't cost much or anything to be in, and you can just exist there with other people.
Now here's where it gets really interesting. Not all so-called public spaces are the same. You have your true public squares, which are all about freedom and gathering. But then you have something called POPs. That stands for privately owned public spaces. Think about the courtyard in a shopping mall. Yeah, it looks public, but it often comes with a ton of restrictive rules and heavy surveillance. You're a customer there, not a citizen.
Okay, let's move on to the next layer of our code, because it's not just about the social stuff, it's also deeply physical. The actual shape of a space has this profound psychological effect on us. Let's call it the geometry of feeling.
And one of the best tools for this is something called the height to distance ratio, or H to D ratio. That sounds a little technical, but it's really simple. It's just the relationship between the height of the buildings, that's your H, and the width of the space between them, that's your D. And this one little ratio changes everything about how we feel. So when the height of the buildings is about the same as the width of the space, you get a 1-to-1 ratio. This gives you a really strong sense of enclosure. Just picture a classic Italian piazza. It feels cozy, almost like an outdoor room. You feel protected and safe. Now, stretch that out a bit. If the width is about twice the height of the buildings, you get a 1-to-2 ratio. This is kind of the sweet spot for a lot of really great traditional city streets. You still feel comfortably held by the buildings, but it's a little more open. It just feels right. But what happens when that width gets to be 4 times the height, or even more? Well, that cozy feeling of enclosure just vanishes. The buildings are so far apart they don't define the space anymore. It feels huge, undefined, and honestly, sometimes a little lonely. Think about standing in the middle of a massive parking lot.
And this all ties directly into scale. Human scale design is built for the speed of a person walking. It's got details you can actually see and appreciate up close, like interesting doorways, different textures, and shop windows. Monumental scale, on the other hand, is built for the speed of a car or to make you feel tiny and powerless. Think about huge highways or grand, imposing boulevards.
So, what's the big takeaway when you mix these social and physical codes together? You end up with this fundamental split. A split between places that feel like a specific somewhere and those that could honestly be anywhere.
When all these elements click together just right, you get something the ancient Romans called Genius Loci. It literally translates to the spirit of the place. And it's exactly that one-of-a-kind, unmistakable character that a location has.
This quote just nails it, doesn't it? The Genius Loci is that magic ingredient. It's the reason a walk through the streets of Varanasi feels completely different from a walk through Jaipur. They're both cities, but their spirits are totally unique.
And this spirit isn't some vague, mystical thing. It's made of real, tangible stuff. It's the local landscape. Is it built on hills or by the coast?
It's the local materials, like the incredible Yellowstone of Jaisalmer. And it's the local activity, the unique sounds, smells, and rhythms of life you'd find in a place like Delhi's Chandni Chowk.
Now, the opposite of Genius Loci is a word you may not know, but you've definitely felt it. It's called placelessness. This is that creeping sameness you see all over the world, where unique character gets bulldozed and replaced by a generic, standardized landscape. It can leave you feeling subtly disconnected. And within this idea of placelessness, you find what the thinker Marc Augé called non-places. These are spaces of pure transit, like airports or supermarkets, where we're all just anonymous travelers or consumers. We pass through them, but we never truly live or dwell in them. And you know these places so well, right? The strip mall, the airport terminal, the chain hotel, the highway. A McDonald's in Delhi looks and feels pretty much exactly like one in Tokyo. They are the absolute definition of anywhere.
So, after that whirlwind tour, we get to the really good part. We've just given you a kind of superpower.
You literally have the decoder ring now. You can see the invisible forces that shape your experience. You'll start spotting third places, you'll be able to guess the H to D ratio with just your eyes, and you'll feel the difference between human and monumental scale. You can read the city.
So here's your mission if you choose to accept it. The next time you walk out your door, look around with these new eyes and ask yourself, what is it that makes this place feel the way it does? Is it a somewhere or is it an anywhere? What is the spirit of your place?